Hello everybody, my name is T-Painter and I'm back with another installment of a hobby update. It's been a few months. I think the last one was back in June, where I'd just reached or just coming up to 50 completed miniatures, and I have pretty much nearly doubled the amount. We're getting really close now to 100 completed miniatures, which is crazy to say. You'll notice the painting mat is now different because I kind of ruined the old one by accident. I used it as a spray mat and the spray didn't come out of the rubber, so I've lost that. But I'm now using this, which is a insert from the Horus Heresy box set from a couple of years back. So, without further ado, let's get into this. I'll first take you through some of the 40k miniatures of them, because they're quite popular. Here is a pair of Poxwalkers. I started painting these guys back a couple of years ago, and I just went back and I added a few more effects to this ooze and the mud in the base, and I'm pretty happy. You know, they're a bit messy, but I think that's how they're supposed to look. I have a second one here. I think they're supposed to look gross and disgusting, and I think that they are really cool and look cool in Decker Army. I have a couple of Plague Marines, but they need to be pretty stripped because they've painted right when I was starting Wargaming about 6 years ago now. So they are in no state to take more paint onto them, so only strip them. But here's another army I've really started working on. It's some Guardsmen, and I've not one. It doesn't seem like a lot because it's such a horde army, but I have three. It's the first one I painted a couple months back. So they're from the 812th, but with barbed wire on space. He's Acadian. And then just last week I completed two more. And I'm very happy. I think I managed to stay pretty consistent between the few months that I painted them. So I think they look really cool, and they're a nice burgeoning army that I'm enjoying. Again, I have a lot of them on my shelf. I'll show it later. And the Lehman Russ, which I painted but needs probably stripped again, that you can usually see how physically thick the paint is on some of it, so it definitely needs to be fixed. Next we have a second orc. I did this in an afternoon to add, because again I painted that first orc. My first complete miniature was an orc, so I'll go back and I'll do another one. I think there's a couple of mistakes here, but honestly I'm happy with it, and in a horde he'll look super cool. And finally, probably my favourite miniature I've painted so far is this. I have played Space Marines are my longest running army. I finally completed an Ultron. This is, I'm not even sure what the unit is called. If anyone knows, let me know. Maybe Incinerators or something. I'm not quite sure. But he is like the Flamethrower rehab, how the effect came out. But I'm just so stoked to finally have a Space Marine completed. I did like dry brushing, edge highlighting, like a mix of both. I think it came out pretty well. And yeah, I'm so stoked to have one. And then a bit of battle damage because he's been fighting. And then the lenses on pretty well. So honestly, he's probably my favourite miniature I've ever painted so far. But that is all the 40k stuff. So in total, it's 8 models, or 7, sorry. So that brings my total up to around 10, I think. Next up, you might actually recognise some of these. These aren't all painted since June, but this is my 50mm Warlord Epic Games. I finally finished up one base. I don't know how people get regiments of 4, let alone like a full army. These took so long, and as a really tough. I was pushing myself, saying, don't paint anything else, just get them done, because if you quit, you'll never finish them. Because the front row, I did pretty fast last year. Oh my god, a year ago. And then the back row, I only painted this year, and it took ages. It really took a lot. I'm pretty happy. I'd probably rather had these guys at the back, because I pinned their backs slightly better. But I'm pretty happy. And from a distance, they look really just so cool, ranked up. And I think once I have a lot more done, once I have a bit more patience, and probably figure out how to paint them a bit better, I will get back to working on more of those. But that's all of them. Now looking into probably one of the smallest armies I've added to. I just completed one War of the Roses to add to my medieval collection. Just one cavalryman. I had the horse painted for ages. My first time ever painting a horse. I'm very happy how it turned out. And I just had to finish off the rider. Nothing too big there. Next, again, another probably recognisable stuff. It's American Civil War. I've literally just added one guy. This is my current work in progress base, one of them. I have 2 more of them guys on the go. They're on painting stands now. And I think actually I'm pretty happy. So 2 more. So I've added 1 to him, and another base that I've completed. If you remember last time, I did back 2. I've now finished off this base, and again, I'm really happy. And I think a full regiment of these would look super cool. And these are really easy to paint. I actually really enjoy them. Once I'm done my current unit, which I'll show you in a bit, I think that painting up a regiment of the Union rather than the Confederate will be my main project. A new scale that I've ventured into is World War II 20mm. I haven't painted any 28mm since, because I haven't had the motivation to, but I've painted these Airfix figures and I'm super happy. They're so quick to paint, about an hour each, not even, probably 40 minutes. of hands-on painting time. I think they just look super cool. Maybe probably a little too much basic material on them, but I just think they look the business. Next up, fantasy miniatures. I've added a plethora of different fantasy miniatures. First one, this is a vitric sculpt. I've just painted him as a ghost because I don't even know why. I just wanted to have like a quick paint, complete something. So I just, I did like a zenithal with a black and white, and then dry brushed some more white and stuff. And then I just put I believe it's some sort of technical paint from Citadel. I'm not quite sure what it's called. It's Hex Rate Flames. I painted the axe just so he has 3 colours on him. Dry brushed some lighter colours on him. And that's about it. I think he looks pretty cool. And maybe it doesn't make sense that his armour is ghostly, but his weapon isn't. But I'm not too bothered. I finished up an orc for D&D. This was a party member, but it's actually been switched out by another orc. And I've kit bashed this guy so he has some horns. This is Krusk, an orc paladin half-orc paladin, who's been for ages. So this one I used for a while, and then I realized, I'm doing my effort, and I'm pretty happy with those pair of orcs. Another custom miniature using Victrix kit. This is Lucifer. He is, I believe, he's a Shadar Kai druid, and he has a wooden hand, so we have these tree branches coming out, and then his magic. My first time trying to do object source lighting, I think it worked out pretty cool. I'm very happy with how he looks. His robes are pretty good. I'm honestly quite happy. He looks good from a distance, and they do pop, and that's kind of fitting my style. The miniature, that is another kind of couple. We have this human rogue miniature, but I use it for Charles, which is another character in my D&D campaign, and he is I believe he's a fighter, although I could be wrong in saying that. I'll have to check. No, he's a ranger, that's what it is. And finally, just another quick model, because I like sometimes just have an easy win, is it this little goblin. I'm very happy. I get a very fast paint job. I want to paint up more of them because I think they look really, really cool. And finally, my most recent clean miniature is Necromancer. I got him in the Warhammer shop. I was popped in and said, what? I don't get anything too big, but I'm really happy. I actually had a bit of a mishap. When I was shading him, I used an old Agrax. I had a little bit left, and it seemed to do a very fine job of kind of pulling off the paint. So I had to fix it, but I'm very happy. His glowing eyes, the 2 colours of Cloak, the skull. He's a super cool sculpt, and I can't wait him to show up on my game tables for both D&D and probably some fancy Wargaming. As you can see, I've had to push everything back because here's my biggest expansion probably since the last time. First of all, we have, it's heavy, it's a metal cannon. I'm super happy. My first artillery piece. It's a lot of firsts. First cavalry, first artillery, first 20 mils, everything. Quick little base. Pretty happy how it turned out. Not too angry. The base was awkward because I went out to spray the base and it was wet. And I went out to the shed and it just didn't dry for some reason. So it was really annoying me, and I think I rushed a bit too much. Very happy. I like how I've done that. And the green looks pretty good. Silver's, just kind of dotted everywhere. Very happy with how he looks. And I have one of the 3 crew members painted up. It's a Warlord Games kit, I believe. He uses it and it's pretty bent, but it's his metal, so it's not too hard to fix. But he looks pretty cool. He's just getting a quick paint job. He's not too important. He'll just be standing, the can's the main focal point. So he's just going to go under it, which probably I had bent up a bit. But he looks pretty good. Moving to the side, we are now making big progress into the Pike and Shot unit, and I'll show you the completed. It's not finished yet, but we're getting very close. First of all, 2 more Musketeers, another base I'm working on recently. I've got 2 of them, one of them shaded, one of them's nearly fully base coated. They look pretty cool, and 2 very awesome bases. We now completed the Pike section of. So this is Ralph Hoppin's regiment. We have the standard bearer, a piper, or I'm not quite sure the terminology is, and 2 more pikemen. And this one we have an NCO, his staff, and we have the officer and 2 more pikemen. So and them up, we now have the other 2 bases of 8, which I'll show you in a couple minutes. But it's everything I painted. I'm actually not quite sure how. I think it's probably 42 models. I think is how much I've done. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to check back the old video. Super happy with how much I've got done in start of June to November. So about 4 or 5 months, and he's been on and off painting. I'm back at school now, so I haven't had as much time, but I've still cranked actually half of these probably were done during school. So honestly, I'm still getting a lot done. I have lots on the painting table now. D&D is really motivating me because I use a lot of these for D&D. But honestly, I'm super happy. I'm super, keeping the standard high. I could drop the standard just battle ready. I'll pull up a miniature that I'd probably consider battle ready. Is this guy? He's in one of my work in progresses to go on that base here. And honestly, some people would say, he's probably pretty good, and if you want to just get ranks and ranks of miniatures done, I'd bang these out super fast. But because I like to highlight and take a bit more time, I will do. And y'all, if that's your way, I think it's super cool having thousands of miniatures. I think that's awesome. If I could, I would, but I just I can't. I'm a perfectionist. I have to have everything looking super. So honestly, I don't mind taking the extra time, even if it means a bit less and it means I'm a very slow painter. But that's what we got done. I'll show you the completed shelf when I put these back in. And so here is the completed shelf. You can kind of hear the audio goes a bit funny because I'm talking into it. But here we go. So starting from the right, we now have the Pike and Shah army. That's my thumb. So we have 16 pikemen, and then 3 musketeers, and the cannon as well. So 21 miniatures, soon to be more. The fantasy section is now looking very strong. The D&D party in the front. 7 US World War II troops. The 40k stuff is really growing now. 10 miniatures, I'm very happy. A couple smaller units of the Vikings and the Napoleonics. The American Civil War stuff back there. War of the Roses units. And then at the back we have the epic battles, Waterloo, and some 20mm World War II. So overall, the shelf is filling up nicely. 90 miniatures completed, and I'll have some new videos out soon, not just bench reports, but other full-on painting videos and things like that. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.